Delphi, Indiana. Population 3,000, nestled among a network of parks and wilderness trails, is like many Midwestern towns, quiet and peaceful. But 5 years ago, that peace was shattered.
I think at every crime scene you have, you're going to have DNA. We're still working on identifying whose all DNA we have there. Intense. I just want to hopefully get out and touch some guys, some of the younger junior high kids. The hump.
Coach Jerry Holman in the coach's corner. We're going to do a little Q&A today. We'll go ahead and let Jerry introduce himself.
Most of you know me, the head coach. But I'm Jerry Holman. You know, he's kind of an underdog, not a big household name in the wrestling community yet, but he's going to be. I enjoy just being a local kid. I'm, you know, just a good old boy. Brotherhood. I want to take care of you if I can and see you. I just want to hopefully get out and touch some guys. I'll probably get a lot of hate mail. Favorite memory? I'd have to say the hump. I admire greatly, and some of the younger junior high kids. I think that really entices them to come in. And the hump. So far, that's probably my biggest hump. I enjoy shooting guns.
All right. Let's have some little fun here. Who's your favorite?
Wife, Nicole, and the Indiana State Police. I enjoy shooting guns. And 3 kids, Tara, Trevor, and Trenton. I enjoy shooting guns and coaching wrestling. Like I said earlier, just seeing these guys grow up in not only as wrestlers but as young men. You know, and I just want to hopefully get out and touch some guys, so that or just even sticking around here and getting a job and you know, good old boy brotherhood. Intensity, aggressiveness. Just fill that multi-purpose room and make them hump, and doing it the right way. I'd have to say school. Now we never ever beat school. Some of the younger junior high kids. A couple years ago, we have never beat them before, and being able to put 14 kids on the mat and finally getting a victory against a team, a bigger school. Now we never ever beat school for that reason. I mean, I want to see these kids pump. Had a lot of good kids on that team as well. So, and some of the younger junior high kids pump. I think that really entices them to come in, and hopefully it's kind of my charming personality as well. I like to think that, but probably not. Every year is put 14 kids out there and see what happens. We've come so close. We battle every day, but we look after each other outside them. And I think it's going to be a battle again. And just like I said, just put 14, you know, competitive kids on the mat and see what happens. Great kid, and leaves it all on the mat. You know, that's pretty much what I like to see. And you know, and him being close and us being able to go down there and watch him pump. Last year as a redshirt freshman, this year as a sophomore, I think he's going to really have a breakout season, and that's probably my current favorite. As I took over the head coach position here, good old boy brotherhood, and I've kind of watched him and how he's handled things. We go to a lot of camps. We go to Boiler Elite, and I admire him. He'll come and talk to me every time he sees me out. He remembered my name from, you know, I met him one time. Hump. We've talked a lot about that, and that's kind of what I want. So I just want to hopefully get out and touch some guys, just watching these guys grow and being a part of these young kids' lives. And then I've had a few others. I think that's why I tell them every day, you know, let's get out and touch some guys. I mean, I coach wrestling for that reason.
Anything else you want to say, Coach?
No, just again, thanks. I think this website's, the Facebook's a great idea, and I just want to hopefully get out and touch some guys. I'd have to say school. Some of the younger junior high kids, touch some guys that school.
motivating them to do the investigation. But yeah, I don't necessarily encourage them to go out there without permission because it is private property. And sometimes we overstep our welcome or our boundaries there. So, but if if you did it the right way and somebody finds something and they do it the right way and they contact police right away so we can collect it properly, then I would say, yeah, it could be beneficial.
Jerry Holman, because I was trying to find like what he said on Delphi in the past and what should so pop up. But Indiana State Police announces promotion of First Sergeant Jerry Holman to Lieutenant. Okay, that's unexpected based on what we saw, but apparently that is what's going on here. So, Lafayette, Indiana State Police Superintendent Douglas G. Carter recently announced the promotion of First Sergeant Jerry Holman to the rank of Lieutenant. Lieutenant Holman will assume the crucial position of Area 1 Investigative Commander. Oh no, that's great. Lieutenant Holman was selected from a competitive pool of candidates and underwent rigorous promotion process, including a comprehensive written test, oral interview, and thorough assessment of his overall work performance. In recognition of his exceptional abilities, Lieutenant Holman completed the prestigious FBI National Academy in 2017. So yeah, I'd feel real comfortable having him in charge of any investigation.
I want to ask you, Anna, if I can, the notion that when something like this happens, just like holding something back that only the killer would know is crime fighting 101, also looking at the families first is crime fighting 101, and it is excruciating for families. Can you help us to understand, those of us who have not walked in your shoes, what it is like not only to be going through this awful grief, but to know that you're being questioned and scrutinized?
It's the worst kind of famous a person could ask for. They go through your photos, they go through your friends, they call, email, private message people that you haven't seen in years. They dig into everybody's life. And they come to you saying, well, I heard, I know, somebody said. And I'm like, why are you even coming to me with this? You heard, you think, whatever it may be. We found that social media is wonderful for the fact that we get these flyers out so fast. The posts of the girls missing went out so fast because of social media. But it can make people feel so very connected that they don't realize how intrusive it really is.
And angry and troll-like.
Yes.
Troll-like.
That they take it upon themselves to send you things that you really don't want to see, you don't really want to hear. It's not our jobs. We've all encountered somebody. I just know it's this. I just know it's this person. And please call Jerry at the tip line. Please call somebody else because I can't do this.
Yeah.
The
parents of the children who were, and they're called liars. They're called conspiracy theorists. There are people who've been arrested for doing this kind of thing. Have you had any of this happen to you?
I haven't had anybody arrested, but I've had my fair share of shots taken at us.
Really?
And a great tool because you can quickly get things out there and share it, and all of a sudden, it's 100,000 likes or something, quickly, and it gets out there. But people jump to conclusions. I mean, let's face it, this guy, this sketch, I have features that resemble that. Most Midwestern guys, with my build and stature, can look like that.
Yeah.
All right. It's not me. Jerry, and Doug would not travel around the United States with us. They've checked me. I was at work. I have to badge in twice. I'm on camera. I mean, but people won't take that. Doesn't fit their agenda when they're out there.
Exactly.
It's easy to hide behind a keyboard and take shots and say it's Mike Patty. He's the worst guy ever. I've been called everything. Trust me. It breaks my wife and my family down to tears. And I tell them, guys, I'm not going to let that bother me. I will not let naysayers and people
That's what really struck me about this case. What is law enforcement hiding and why? The frustration that I'm reading online that is abnormal. The refusal to release more information is actually impeding the investigation because people are feeling very frustrated. So I guess I'm giving you a chance to sort of respond to that.
We have to protect the integrity of the investigation and to protect the family. The family doesn't want us to release the details of this. So
They don't?
No, absolutely not. Would you?
Well, I think at this point, after 2 years, where there's been no movement on the case, if I were a family member, I would ask law enforcement to release more information because.
And they have, but.
And what specifically?
Oh, they've asked us to release more of the audio, more of the video, but we're not.
They have then.
Yeah, they've asked, but there's some details in there that I don't think that if I was a family member, I would want the public to know.
You don't think cause of death or mode of death would help narrow the playing field?
No, I don't. Not at this point.
Did you find a lot of evidence on the location where the bodies were found?
Can't really talk about what we found, what we didn't find.
Do you have the phone?
Yes.
You do? It was recovered? Wow. So are you able to investigate all of the people on her social media sites?
Yes. We have knowledge of who she was communicating with. We feel like that photo, that voice is enough for the public to help us identify the person. That's all we want.
But the public hasn't helped you, and it's been 2 years based on the information that you've released?
That's all we can release at this point.
Do you anticipate releasing another sketch, perhaps a third sketch that is more of a cross between the two?
Well, of course, it's very, very important.
Can you tell the age of this man?
We can't.
Were there any eyewitnesses who actually saw him?
No, there were not.
Other than, obviously, the girls. Right. Were there any eyewitnesses who actually saw him?
No, there were not.
Other than, obviously, the girls. Right.
I'm curious about the sketch on the screen, Sergeant, because the grainy picture doesn't show the face, but there were witnesses, if I'm not mistaken, who were able to lend information that got you to the sketch. Can you tell me a little bit about the witnesses? Where did they come from? What did they see?
I don't want to go into great detail, but they were near or on the trail. We have several sketches, but we've identified some of the people that they sketched. One of them was Mike. When they were
hey, I was out there looking that day. I mean, when
they called the police
came in.
Yeah, let me clarify that. I know that, but after there's plenty of people out there, numerous people out there afterwards helping with the search, and we got a lot of sketches of those people as well, including Mike. I think maybe not, but this sketch is several months. It didn't just happen in one day.
It came out in August, correct?
What's that?
It came out in August or July? Okay,
yes.
So the summer following the February 13th murders.
Right.
That's when the sketch was released. So it's interesting to sort of get that information.
Yeah, why so
several
long?
months. Yeah, why so many? I'm pressing you here, obviously.
You can ask the tough questions. I'll answer. Again, it takes a lot of time. I'm not a sketch artist, but the FBI actually, an agent from the FBI did this sketch. And, I think when somebody sketches, it takes like 10 minutes. It takes several weeks. But to get the information, to find the people that we believe saw that person that day near the time of the murders, that takes months. So we had to locate these people, interview them, find out who they really saw. Did they really see the guy on the bridge from the video? Or did they see Mike out there helping search? Or did they see somebody else out there helping with the search? So we had to identify those people. And once we felt like we identified the people that
for sure,
blind
squirrel, for sure,
on the bridge, then the sketch itself took, again, several weeks. They sketched it, looked at it. No, that's not correct. And I will say that there's a couple people still aren't convinced that that's the proper hat, but that's the hat that the sketch artist could come up with, as close to what the witnesses were describing. Lieutenant said, don't focus on the sketch, and we got a lot of calls on that. I think what he was meant to say was, where there's 4 or 5 of us up here right now, and if we pick somebody out of the room right now and identify them to a sketch artist, there'd be 5 different sketches that have the similar features as we believe the sketch has of the guy on the bridge. but they'd be a little different. So I think that's what he meant is the person that did this heinous crime may not exactly look like that sketch. That's what the person's information, and then the sketch artist had to take that information in and then put it on paper. So it's not always going to be perfect, but we think that's a really good sketch, and we think it's really close to the person that we're looking for that's on the bridge.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, because we all think that if you see someone, you could describe someone and get a great composite sketch. And I recall when we were covering the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, the person who described what she saw, which lent to so much news coverage, ultimately had to admit that she saw it on TV, that she hadn't actually seen the thing at all, that she thought she had. Her memory was that she'd seen it, but that ultimately she'd seen an account given on television and then recited the account that was given on television. And I think it was, you might all remember this, it was because it was very specific, the expression she said, he was shot down like a dog. And shot down like a dog had been a quote that had run on the news that night, over and over and over and over again. And so it was just sort of intriguing to see how people who see something somewhere else can ascribe that to what they think they saw at the actual moment.
I still believe somebody knows. Somebody knows what happened.
Somebody knows.
There's someone out there who knows something.
Because I truly believe, Doctor, that somebody out there knows this guy. Somebody knows something.
What we know is what we know, and we're not ready to talk about that yet. There's been some criticism of me, and I'm willing to take that. I can't explain all the things that I know.
We don't want the killer to know that what we know.
He has no idea what we know, but one day he will. What we know and what we don't know. What only the killer would know that we know. Eventually I'll be able to tell the world what we know. And you want to know what we know.
Somebody knows.
Somebody does know.
Somebody knows.
Absolutely.
And
You know, we preach that, but it's impossible, right? First, you know, I called my squad sergeant and told him to get all the detectives available up here because we knew it was going to be total chaos. I joke around about make sure that we get justice for Abby and Libby. Life doesn't stop. I joke around about put it on hold. I mean, we have detectives up here that have had their own deaths in their families, their own sickness. Their kids are sick. They're planning weddings. Well, don't do that. You can't stop that. Put it on hold. Hopefully not any, you know, years, but a little easier to handle that stress when you have the backing and you work with such great people. The hardest thing as a manager is to take time off. You know, I preach it, hey, don't work this weekend. I would sit at home and think about is get you justice for Abby and Libby. I joke around about everybody that we can think of, but this has got me very emotional, and take a step back and really, I try to put myself in your shoes when you're in a tough situation, but I can't even get close to doing that because I can't imagine even talking to them, and they want to help us, and they have. And you know, we went back to them and talked to them numerous times, and I know I need to be here. We are. Yeah, it just gave me goosebumps again. I mean, we're not respected, and the community has just been for what they've done. Well, don't do that. And the surrounding counties and cities, I don't make promises that I can't keep. Well, don't do that. We're getting tips from across the nation. A lot of people might hear us talking about that. Well, don't do that. If you believe, whatever you believe, well, don't do that. Why ever you believe that, because that might be the piece of the puzzle that we're missing that we need to put everything else together. And I do believe the reward's up to $239,000 some odd dollars. If it's a family member, but this person's evil. This person is a monster, daughter, cousin. That's one of the main reasons I lose a lot of sleep, because I don't want this to happen again. Go to your local police station personally and tell them how important this is. We're not respected. Everybody that we can think of has been used, and told him what it is, and told him put it on hold. Well, don't do that. You can't stop that. I mean, it's tough, but life doesn't stop. The hardest thing as a manager, put it on hold. and all the bashing from social media and whoever else. Well, don't do that. What it is, but with us, and so patient with us because this is a high-profile case with us because this is as close to perfect as possible. Just try to maintain that professionalism and told him, put it on hold and keep in the back of my head. But this person's evil. This person is a monster, daughter, cousin, sister. And I think my passion is them and their families. And I would get on my knees and beg and told him, put it on hold, and told him that the end is coming and that the only end for us that is available has been used. So you were asking them about how the police treated them during this investigation, and I've said this multiple times. I've tried so hard to put myself in these people's shoes. I can't do it. Can't do it. I try. I don't even want to be in my shoes, let alone their shoes. But when I was standing at the bottom of that hill that night, like every other investigator, we thought, you know, you're going to laugh at this, but first 48, we'll have somebody in custody. And we didn't. And then reality set in and it really hit home. But I will say this, we will treat these family members with the utmost compassion because they've been so cooperative with.
Take a look at what his attorneys are saying now. Throughout our legal consultation, Mr. Allen remained uncomfortably and unnecessarily shackled and chained in a manner resembling Hannibal Lecter, while guards watched through glass panels and the door ajar. Mr. Allen clearly appeared intimidated by the guards and was hesitant to speak freely with counsel.
It's creepy as hell that drawing was there. And if it's anything close to what the defense is saying that is some creepy shit.
Right.
And it definitely should be looked into. There ain't no joke about it because if that man had something to do with this. I mean, how in the hell are you going to shake this off of you? Especially, I mean, like you said, dude, you look at me on paper, bro.
It looks bad.
I'm a serious dude. It ain't no joke. I'm a monster on paper, and there's times in my life I've been a monster in real person, but, you know, because they took boogeymen like me and sent them to other people's doors.
So my last video pissed you off. Well, this one's really gonna piss you off. So you don't like my hat? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
Good old boy brotherhood.